Down in the greatest depths of the ocean lies a huge, bizarre, and interesting place to dive in and explore. This place really shows out our history. Some consider it Earth's biggest museum. In this vast sea lie many strange creatures, ecosystems, and communities. One of those are the hydrothermal vents, the chimneys of the deep sea. First discovered in 1977 near the Galapagos, the soon to be discovered and history rich ecosystem was found while scientists were exploring an ocean opening ridge. They detected a spike in temperature and then began to see the chimneys spitting out the dark smoke, later discovering that they were in an ecosystem inhabited by many yet to be discovered organisms. They were dubbed as alien-like due to how they were able to thrive down here with no sunlight. You may think that this place is very desolate since sunlight isn't reachable down here, but organisms down here can survive without the need of the sun. They use chemosynthesis instead. Using those trusty springs of chemicals that they surround, the chemicals from the hydrothermal vents are used as a form of energy. They rely on a bacteria that convert these chemicals into energy, in sort of a symbiotic relationship. Organisms also colonize around these vent areas to stay alive. For example, organisms like the Hoff crabs, who have small hairs that help them catch and farm bacteria using this process. Or like tube worms, which are often seen as giant tubes pointing in all directions. They grow up to 6 feet tall and have white tubes that are essentially glued to the rocks. Like other animals here, they use the essential process of chemosynthesis. Looking at a food chain here, we can see the connections between the creatures down here, starting with, of course, the vents themselves, but then come the chemoautotrophs. These are the direct consumers of the chemical energy, like zooplankton, tube worms, which we will talk about later, and mussels. These chemoautotrophs are consumed by the primary consumers, which are mostly crabs. And finally, the top consumers. This one struck me as shocking. An octopus? An organism without any bone structure and soft body at this depth? It's really interesting to see. Maybe it's differently adapted to this environment. Fun fact, the volcano-like vents expel clouds of dark, thick, and mineral-filled smoke. As these minerals solidify as they go up, they cool down and create the chimney-like dark structures. The contents of this are hot enough to melt solid metal. These underwater volcanoes may not seem much to a lot of people, but they really are important to many things. They help maintain the balance of the ocean chemistry and circulation, but it also serves as a laboratory for scientists to study how Earth was formed. Looking at how these primitive creatures live and the structure of this area, we may get a few hints on how it happened in the first place. While there are a few reasons how this specific ecosystem can be affected by human impact, other ecosystems above it can. Some of those may cause imbalances in the ocean. We still know very little of what we call the deep sea, making it difficult to accurately evaluate the real impact of industrial activities. It is entirely possible that later could reach this depth. Some organizations have shown interest and have studied these hydrothermal vents, like the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. They've been looking for ways to protect and preserve these important ecosystems. Despite being this deep, we can still do our part to preserve these places. Causing less pollution and recycling can help make a healthier and better hydrothermal vent. But the question still remains, why do these organisms live here? One day, we'll figure out.